But there's a battle at the number 9 position. There's no question about it. Ajiman's come on, scored 3 goals in 4 games. We think Balogun, when he comes back from that shoulder injury, is going to be the guy. Josh Sargent, does he get another opportunity? He had his opportunity. So only thing Haji Wright can do, Stefano, is continue to score goals. That's the only thing that he can control. I would expect, though, to see him in the U.S. men's national team jersey in the next camp.
Welcome back to Morning Footy. Time for one of our favorite segments, Americans Abroad. We take a look at what Americans are doing in the top leagues in the world. First, ladies first, so we start with the women. Lindsey Heaps playing 90 minutes for Lyon. Emily Fox getting also 90 minutes in that same match for Arsenal. Naomi Girma, she's back from injury. Valentellis Joyce had a 3-save performance and a shutout. And Jenna Neiswanger, also an unused substitute, but also in action there for Arsenal. We head to the men's game now. Johnny Cardoso scored his 3rd goal in the opener for Real Betis. Kevin Paredes continues to show out there. His first match since the Olympics, 2-2 draw versus Mainz. Gianluca Busio scores his first goal since September. Tanner Tessman also on the score sheet. Haji Wright continues his good play for Coventry in the championship. But we're going to focus in first on Johnny Cardoso. Tony, he has got Real Betis off the mark this weekend. He's been playing very well this season for Real Betis. There is some talk that he may be leaving Betis, maybe to a bigger club this summer. Has he done enough to possibly earn a starting spot on the U.S. men's national team in a midfield that's really not fully locked down yet?
A starting spot, I'm not quite sure, right? If you look at that midfield, and if Pochettino wants to play with 2 players, Tyler Adams, no doubt about it, is the one guy that we lock in. Then is it Weston McKennie? Is it Johnny Cardoso? Remember, Johnny Cardoso was called into the Nations League camp, right? But he had the injury right before camp, and he was replaced. Tanner Tessman actually played in that position in match day 1 against Panama, and I believe it was Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie against Canada. But he's certainly a guy that's going to push maybe his way into that lineup. It's just been a matter of injuries. There's been times where he's come on and all of a sudden he's got a slight injury. He's got to be out for a little bit. But no doubt that this guy has flourished at Betis. And we've heard the whole thing about Tottenham and a potential buyout and the right of first refusal and all of that. I don't know if that's the place for him to go. Maybe not right now. It's not the place to go. But this is a guy that can play. And his game just continues to grow year in and year out here.
Yeah, he's really been showing out for Betis this season. He took the challenge, and he's kind of pushed it forward. And like you mentioned, it's really only Tyler Adams that has really a spot locked in that midfield for the U.S. men's national team. So it'll be interesting to see. Pochettino does have some decisions to make for sure.
Yeah, and I've been saying for a couple of years, I wish we had more players that went to Spain. I think it's such a great league to play in, and maybe he opens the door for some other guys to get into the league. But he has been outstanding.
All right, let's move on to the women's game. Lindsey Heaps, she showed out for Lyon in their match in the Champions League. She's had a fantastic season, been one of the key parts in that midfield all year long. Has she done enough? And she earned a spot in another midfield in the U.S. women's national team that has a lot of competition.
Yeah, I think that's a great question because fans always want to put the worst on Lindsey Heaps. They pick out every little thing she does wrong when she plays for the U.S. And when you watch her play with Lyon, she plays with such a freedom. She's higher on the pitch than she is with the U.S. And she controls the game. She dictates the tempo for Lyon. And in a Champions League match against Arsenal, in which everything was on the line for Lyon, a team that's looking to win it again, Heaps, who's looking to win it again, she sets her teammates up for success, whether it's Diani or Dumornay up top. She's the one that's playing that final ball. She's got great vision. Plus, she gets stuck in to tackles. And it is so important to see her do that on the biggest stage of Champions League. She's not covering every single blade of grass on the pitch because she moves with such intelligence and she knows the spaces to pop into. Yeah, I mean, consistently for Lyon, she's doing it. She's scoring more goals. I just wanted to score more for the U.S.
Yeah, she's got 11 goals this season from that midfield position for Lyon. That's no easy task for sure in that team. Move on now to Haji Wright on the men's side. Obviously getting the goal in the World Cup, in the knockout match. He also has been fantastic for Coventry when he's been available. Didn't go into the March break, obviously, because he had an injury. He's been fantastic. Is he the guy? We know the striker position has really been a real big point of contention for the U.S. men's national team. Is he the guy? Ajiman also getting a look. There's other players involved. Should it be Haji Wright?
How long do we have to talk about the number 9 position?
Be a while, yeah.
Men's national team. Yeah, he should certainly get a look. Keep in mind, you mentioned the Nations League. He wasn't part of that. He came back from his injury, I think, a little bit earlier than everybody thought that he would. So he wasn't included in the 60-man roster. Just before the Nations League, he comes back, he immediately scores a hat trick, and we're all thinking, oh, Haji Wright, bring him into camp, because we had no Balogun, we had no Ricardo Pepi, obviously. Josh Sargent was coming in, but this Haji Wright gives a different profile, right? A bigger, stronger player. Remember, he's played for Coventry on the right wing, majority of his time on the left wing, recently as a center forward, which is where he came in, I think, as the profiled player under Greg Berhalter with the national team. In our youth national team system, he played predominantly as a right winger. So this guy plays along the front line, which that versatility may give you an opportunity, right? When you're putting a roster together, hey, I'll take a guy maybe that can play a few positions. But there's a battle at the number 9 position. There's no question about it. Ajiman's come on, scored 3 goals in 4 games. We think Balogun, when he comes back from that shoulder injury, is going to be the guy. Josh Sargent, does he get another opportunity? He had his opportunity. So only thing Haji Wright can do, Stefano, is continue to score goals. That's the only thing that he can control. I would expect, though, to see him in the U.S. men's national team jersey in the next camp.
He'll have an opportunity maybe to play some pretty important games where there'll be a lot of eyes on him if Coventry does get to those championship playoffs. They're currently in that final 6th spot for the championship playoffs. Great news for U.S. women's national team fans. Naomi Girma, she is back on the pitch after that calf injury. It kept her out for so long. She played in the Champions League match against Barcelona, comes on at least as a sub. How great was it to see her back? We finally get to see a little bit more of her in a Chelsea shirt.
Finally, Stefano. I mean, she made this transfer in the winter, in January. She's only played 70 minutes. She got injured in her first game, and now we just got a little glimpse. 10 minutes against Barcelona in Champions League, but that is such good news for U.S. fans because we've been having this little bit of a center-back epidemic at times. Tierna Davidson is now out. She's on SEI with an ACL injury. So the fact that Girma is getting back, getting more minutes, I mean, the whole point of her going to Chelsea, besides all the money that she made, was to get time in Champions League, was to play against teams like Barcelona and go with that experience, play with a new center back partner in Millie Bright, learn different experiences through that. So now we're finally starting to see a little bit more of it.
It should be interesting to see for sure. Americans performing abroad, we love to see it.